In last lesson, we have created our third object, which was coffee glass. So before proceeding further, let's see what we have created till last lesson. Now it's time to fill it with coffee. Zoom timeline, and to create further part, we need to pre-compose these layers. But if we pre-compose these layers right here, it may create some problems because some of these layers have been used both in second object, which was USB drive, and also in third object, which is coffee glass. And some layers like this one and this one are not in use anymore. So if we pre-compose it in this way, we will have to modify animations from the beginning, which will take a lot of time. To avoid this, we can break it by duplicating layers. So select all layers which we need to duplicate and trim these. At this time, if we duplicate it, it will place new layers in between of the original layers. And we need to select all and put them above to all layers. So let's undo it. Now we will use old method, that is copy and paste. Copy layers by pressing Ctrl or Command key and paste it by pressing Ctrl or Command V, and it will place all layers together. Now let's stretch them to increase timing. Now trim these layers from left side. If we press U key, you will find all keyframes on these layers which we have added to original layers. But these keyframes won't affect the shapes because they are outside of the scope. So we need not to remove this. Now let's pre-compose these layers. Call it bottle 2. Actually, I have already a bottle composition which I have made during some test. Let me delete it. Now let me rename this bottle 2 to bottle. Alright, go inside of this composition. To see it clearly, let's create a layer solid of any dark color. Well, I have kept it to black. Now put it below to the all layers. It's only for reference. We will delete it once animation is done. Now we are going to pre-compose layers once again, except these two rectangles. Now select last 3 layers. This circle layer is not in use here, so let me delete it. It won't affect other animations because we have duplicated these layers. Now pre-compose these. Call it bottle basic shape. Create a new solid. Change its color to dark brown. And keep it just above to the bottle basic shape. Now duplicate this composition and put it above to the red solid. And apply alpha matte on this solid layer. Now this solid layer will only appear within the coffee mug. Select solid layer and we are gonna to animate its scale property. Let's set its anchor point to the bottom middle. Unlink constraint proportion and scale it down on y-axis. Add a keyframe on it, go to 20th frame and scale it up. Apply easy ease on both keyframes. Now go to graph editor and make it fast on its start point and slow on the end point. Preview it. I think it should be some slow. Fine. Now let's animate these white rectangles. And here we will need to change the color of these shapes so that it will look like mug is filled with the coffee. We can do it very easily by controlling its opacity. First we have to check for the animation timing. So here our coffee has been arrived to bottle rectangles level. Let's open opacity property of this layer by pressing T key. Add a keyframe on it and leave its value to 100. Now move to next frame and here it should be filled. To show the effect, simply change its opacity to 20% and it will look its color has been changed due to coffee. Now do the same procedure for the next rectangle and we should animate it from here. Open opacity and add a keyframe on it. And it should be filled on this frame. So change its opacity to 20%. Alright, let's play it. Now just hide this black solid layer, go back to main composition and check it. Fine. Now we need to drop coffee from top in order to fill our mug. And to make it interesting, I want one more rectangle to pop up when mug will be filled. So let's animate another rectangle. Take rectangle tool and create one on the top. Let's change its color same as of the coffee. Set its anchor point middle of the shape and adjust its position so that it will be exactly on the top of the below rectangle. Trim it from left side and we are going to animate its position. Add a keyframe, move 5 frames and add same keyframe. Now on the first keyframe, bring it down so that it will be merged into other shapes. Now on this keyframe, I want it to bounce. So move it to upper side. Now add same keyframe immediately to prevent the sudden bounce. Move 10 more frames and bring it down. Select all and apply Easy Ease. Go to Graph Editor and make it slow on the last keyframe. Let's check it. Let's shift it to left so that it will immediately bounce when mug is filled. Now it should be okay. Go to main composition. Let's check it. Nice. Now let's pour coffee from upper side and it would be best positioned to animate it when mug has been created. Take pen tool and let's draw a straight line holding down shift key. Just like this. Select the layer and we don't need fill color on it. And increase the stroke weight to 40 points. Change its color to dark red, which was the color of our coffee. Trim this layer and position it to the center of the mug. Let's expand its shape properties and go inside of the stroke. Now change its cap to rounded so that stroke will be rounded on the start and end points. Collapse stroke and expand path parameters. Add a keyframe on it, move 10 more frames, and add same keyframe. Go back to first keyframe and move this point to upper side. Now we have to finish coffee pouring animation when mug is filled. So on this keyframe, select this start point and bring it down. Now let's apply Easy Ease on all keyframes. Play it. We need to adjust its graph. Just make it slow on end of the each animation. Alright, let's check for the animation timing. I think it would be better position to start its animation when mug animation is near to complete. It would keep it dynamic. Let's check it. Fine. Now let's put this layer below of the other layers by which our mug has been created, so that it will be behind of the mug. Now it will feel that it's filling the coffee in the mug, but its timing is still not good. So I think it should occur after 5 frames. And we need to happen coffee pouring animation some quickly. So just trim these layers and shift this bottle composition to the left side. Let's preview it. Fine. Now let's see what we have created till now. And this time we will use RAM preview. So pull this work area bar and fit it to the end of the composition so that it will render only desired part. Now just click on this RAM preview button. Stop it and let's shrink this bar to get rid of this shape. So we have created a cool shape morphing animation. And obviously there are still some jugs in animation. It's not polished yet perfectly. So there are a lot of possibilities. You just need to use your creativity to achieve high-end results. In next lesson, we will learn more about strokes.